Okay, so we have now done our reconciliation of the bank statement and what we have in our books on our side. So we have included everything that we saw on the bank statement, but not yet in our books. We have now entered those into the CRJ and the CPJ, depending on whether it's a payment or not. So right at the beginning of this question, they told us that we have a bank account with an overdraft of 21,500 Rand. So, in other words, we started our month on a minus 21,500 over there, right? So, what did we get in, or what was the outflow of cash for the current month? It is your CRJ amount that you received minus the CPJ. So they had a difference of 57,044 Rand that we received more than the outflows for the month. So that minus, remember it's a minus because you had an overdraft at the beginning of this month. So minus the 21,500. So we had a bank account balance of 35,544. So remember again, the idea is that we need to see that our books agree to that of the third party, in this case of the bank, because we need to have accurate financial statements. So both sides have to reflect the same transactions. But if we now look at the information provided, it only says that we have a bank reconciliation statement that had a bank balance of 24,000 Rand. But we do not have our bank statement balance yet. So we need to go and see if we have the bank statement balance, the incorrect one, for July, somewhere within the information. If not, it means that once we have done our bank reconciliation statement, the reconciling, in other words, the balancing figure will be your balance as per. So balance as per bank statement. Remember, bank statement is your external confirmation, and then your books is your balance as per bank account. So balance as per, why is it writing like that now? As per bank account. I changed this thing, but now I don't know what's going on. To bank account. Okay, so this is in our books, and we are saying that, you know what, we understand that sometimes things do not reflect on the statement immediately, or we might have made some errors. So there we will find the errors and omissions that will get us back to our bank statement balance. So for the bank account balance, we are saying that whatever we have in our books, we have to reflect that in the bank reconciliation statement as well. So remember that in the books of the bank, so on the bank statement, if we have a positive bank balance, a favorable bank balance, we will have a credit balance as per our bank statement. But in our books, our bank is our asset. So if we have a favorable bank balance, it will be on the debit side. And in this case, we do have a debit side balance, because remember, we started with the overdraft, but then when we recorded all of our outstanding transactions, we ended on a debit balance. So that is why we have a debit balance, a positive balance. Why is this thing not working now? There we go. So of 35,000, 35,544. Okay, right. So that is our balance as per the bank account. So let's go to the rest of the information. So we have now used all of the items included in the July bank statement, but not in the journals. And then it says that the items that appear in the cash journals only. One second. Okay, test mic. Is the mic now fine? Yes, I don't know what's going on with this thing. Okay. So I have my CRJ, CPJ totals. So those provisional totals includes these transactions here, like only in the cash journals, but it doesn't yet reflect on my bank statement. And that is why I now have to include it in my bank reconciliation statement to show what the effect of those transactions will be once they actually do reflect on my bank statement. So it says that we have an outstanding deposit. So outstanding deposits, as soon as outstanding deposits appear on the bank statement, they will have a positive effect on the bank statement balance. So in other words, it will have a credit effect on the bank statement, because remember, when we have more money in our bank account, it will be a credit on the bank side, even though it's the debit on our side. So it is 3420 because it will increase my bank statement balance. All of the outstanding EFTs will have a negative effect on my bank statement balance, because remember, EFTs are those things that we have to pay to other people. So in other words, it will debit the bank statement balance, because in my books, it will result in a credit in the bank account in the ledger. So outstanding EFT, and the first one is number 12692, and then we also have a 12693. So these are payments that we do not yet see on the bank statement, but it's probably just because we made the payment on the last day. So it will result in debit entries on the bank statement. Payments made, the money is no longer in your account. Right, and then we move on. Remember, we said that we fixed this information in our CRJ because we incorrectly said that we paid 880 Rand, but we only paid 808 Rand. So that reversal was done in the CRJ. Then a transfer from the UIF of 5,000 Rand appeared in the bank statement, but the bank has informed us that this is an error, as the amount was incorrectly transferred to us. The bank is going to reverse this entry. So in other words, the bank credited our account with 5,000 Rand because it's a transfer from the UIF. So if it's from someone else, it means that it increased my bank account balance, so it was a credit. But this is now an error that the bank made. So remember that errors that the bank made has to be fixed on the bank reconciliation statement. So error. If the bank incorrectly credited my account because they said that I received the money, but that should be now reversed, it means that they would have to debit my account with 5,000 Rand. Okay, because that way the debit and the credit will cancel out each other, and then we are fine. And here, finally, it says that the closing balance on the bank statement was 40,364 Rand. So they didn't say that this is an overdraft or that we have a debit balance. So that means we have a positive bank balance, and that is why it will go to the credit side of your reconciliation. Right, so now let's see if we are balancing. So credit side, 3420 adds up to 43,784. Oopsie. And remember that your debit side now has to be equal to that. So let's subtract everything on the debit side. 35,544. There we go. So we have the exact same amount for the total on our debit side as on the credit side. And then if you can look past the terrible handwriting, then you should be fine now. Please come and chat to me if you need some more help with regards to reconciliations.